Hello, everybody, and welcome to this special video on astrology. I'm Julie from Maison Jupiter, and thank you for joining me over here. So in this video, I wanted to share with all of you the upcoming big conjunction between Mars, Uranus, and the star Algol all together. So this is going to be a very explosive event, and I'd like to share with you a little bit of what could happen, what kind of energies we could be seeing on the collective scale of things, but also on the personal scale of things. So for people who are not aware what Algol is, it is one of the fixed stars, so one of the stars very far from our solar system. But whenever we will get this year's Mars-Uranus conjunction, so Mars and Uranus will be in alignment. That happens almost every 2 years. Last time was in 2022, so that's something big in itself, but that's not a one in a lifetime experience, as you can see. But aligning on Algol, this is a one in a lifetime experience. So Algol is said to be one of the unluckiest stars, and the most aggressive, dangerous stars. It represents, I'm going to show you guys, I have a little visual there. I'm sure you're going to have, for people who are more visual, you're going to get the frequency of what we're talking about here. So Algol represents Perseus chopping Medusa's head off. So I won't get into the myth. I am aware of like the whole story or almost all of it, but this is not where I want to take your focus for this video. I want to be more practical as far as what we can expect in the world and in our personal lives with that very, as you can see, violent almost conjunction alignment. But rest assured, I think there are also a lot of beautiful alignment, beautiful manifestation of this energy that could also manifest in our own world. So this is kind of what the image that represents Algol, the scene here. So whenever we talk about Algol, people are like, oh my God, like really bad things are going to happen. So I just want to temper this energy a little bit by saying, yes, some very intense things might happen on, let's say, on the collective scale, on the world scale. But Uranus is there, and Medusa also is more nuanced than what you might think. So there is also this form of liberation that comes with this conjunction. But yes, it might happen in a very sudden way, a very unexpected way. This is Uranus. This is the energy of Uranus. Uranus is kind of the maverick, the expect the unexpected kind of energy. So although I might try to give you some ways this energy can manifest, like I think nobody can really tell because Uranus is involved, but we can only try to figure out what kind of frequency of energy could result from this conjunction, because in astrology we work with archetypes, so we can kind of know in which sector it's going to let's say be manifested. So the conjunction itself between Mars, Uranus, and Algol will be exact where I am in the world on July 15th in the morning around 10 a.m. Eastern time. So depending on your location in the world, it could also happen on the previous day or the next day, depending on where you are again. But in the Eastern time zone, it's going to be exact on July 15th, so on Monday. Because also we are talking about Uranus, which is involved. Uranus moves very slowly. So I put like a bigger orb of influence for this conjunction. And I believe we can already, as I'm filming this video, we can already sort of feel this very intense, almost aggressive-like energy coming into our field of awareness. So I will put the orb of influence from July 10th until July 20th, until the full moon, basically. So this is kind of what we can expect as like this bell of intensity And of course, the peak will be on July 15th. So yes, okay, where do I want to go next? There's so many things I want to talk to you about in this video. I think it's so interesting. And I've watched also many videos from other astrologers, and I think they all bring like different, very interesting part of the puzzle. But I'm going to give you my own perspective on the matter. So because this, and I'm going to share with you a visual, so don't freak out if you don't understand astrology, but for visual people, it's going to help you. So here, whenever we say conjunction, it's because they are, from our perspective on Earth, they will be seen as being in the same location, so the same degree. It's going to happen at 26-degree Taurus. So we'll get back to the personal influences, but you can already check where 26-degree Taurus in your own birth chart falls, in what house, and does it conjunct planets or important angles, so you have a better idea of how this will impact you on a personal level. For me, it's very near my midheaven, so let's pray and let's see what the universe holds for me. But as you can see, it is happening in the sign of Taurus. And yes, I forgot to say, but Mars is kind of a quick moving planet, so it will be exact on the 15th. But Uranus moves very slowly. So Uranus being in alignment with Algol, this will remain for a longer period of time. And Uranus brings change. Algol brings this kind of revolutionary energy too, of things moving around, people losing their heads, but also this kind of liberation energy, this transformation energy, because death is nothing but a transformation, right? So Uranus will stay on Algol, I would say, from June until November, and then we'll retrograde and get back to it in 2025. But from this year, I would say from June to November. But whenever we have like a bigger planet aligning with a star, or a bigger, an outer planet, I mean, making some form of, let's say, a jump to another sign or something important, we need like a closer planet to us, a personal planet, to activate and to really feel on Earth the energy of that in a more practical sense. So this is what Mars allows us. We really feel the energy of Uranus, and both Mars and Uranus are linked to this idea of speed, to push something very far, to sudden movement, to sudden change. Uranus is change, disruption. Mars brings a lot of energy, sometimes conflict. Both are cutting planets, so separation. And I'm not just saying that like for, let's say, relationship. Of course, it could be an option, but I think it's, for most people, it's going to manifest as being something being cut off from their lives. And sometimes it's a really good thing, right? So as you can see, there's like good and bad in the same thing. But I think if we look at things in a bigger perspective, although it might feel very sudden and very disruptive when that thing is getting removed from our lives, I think it's going to, in the bigger perspective, be very, very positive. Yes, I wanted to show you the chart. I'm going left and right today. So this is happening in Taurus, which is a sign that likes fixity. It likes stability. It likes tradition. It likes to build for the long term. So Taurus is very opposite as far as an archetype from Uranus and from Mars, as you can see. So this is kind of this is a shaky, disruptive energy. And the Venus, wow, that phrase did not go well. So the ruler, yes, of Taurus is Venus. So I like to look also at Venus, which is kind of an added component to this conjunction that could give us also additional clues as how we can feel this energy, what could happen. And both Taurus and Venus are linked to money. They're linked to family, tradition, stability, relationships, art, food, resources. If in agriculture, let's not name everything because I would do like a 10-hour long video. But so yes, so both Taurus and Venus are ruling those themes, and Venus at the moment of this conjunction is T-squaring the nodes. So as you can see here, Venus just entered Leo, which is a sign that Venus really loves. And we have the nodes still in the relationship axis. So this is kind of a pretty intense T-square, although Venus is not like an intense planet. It usually softens hard alignments like this one. But I wanted to show you that because I wanted to show you how this idea of destined changes is also linked to this conjunction. Because whenever we have a planet making a T-square, so aspecting the nodes, especially a square, a double square, a T-square that is, usually there is something like a choice point, decision point, or there are some fated changes that will really change our life around, because the nodes deal with our past, with our future. It's very this idea of destiny, of fate, of also the universe conspiring in our favor to make things happen, to make sure we are staying on our path. So there's this whole idea of like a very important milestone. So changes with this conjunction happening to, let's say, tweak something in our life that is maybe out of balance, because also the nodes are in the relationship axis. As I said, Venus is a planet of balance. The South Node is in Libra right now. So the Venus is the dispositor also of the South Node of the nodes. So we have also this big theme of the universe wants us to get back also in balance within our body, within our relationships, within our mission, within our purpose. So these are all themes that are very, very important for ourselves and for our guides in the universe right now. So Venus wants to tweak things and has like a softer approach to making changes, making decisions within relationship, money themes, everything that Venus and Taurus rules. But on the other hand, we have Uranus, Mars, and Algol that are quite, let's say, a intense type of bunch together. So they are, they want things and they want things now. So they want it now, they want change. So Mars is like this added push and added energy to make things turn around. So as you can see, it could be very disruptive, very destabilizing, but also it could be very liberating. It could be also a change that we've been hoping and waiting for a long time. How it's going to present itself, nobody knows, because Uranus is involved. So it could be like, oh, okay, we could be faced with something very disruptive and unexpected. But on the good side of things, I think whatever is being cut off from our lives right now is something that allows us to bring back this idea of balance within our purpose, mission, life, and life. Yeah. So another thing I wanted to talk about, because Venus is going to be super important, although a lot of people don't really talk about Venus when we talk about this conjunction because it's so aggressive. But Venus also just started to be visible in the sky at the beginning of July, and this is going to be until the end of 2024, until the end of the year. So Venus, aside from being the ruler of Taurus, so the dispositor of this conjunction, is also very much in focus right now because we can see it visually in the sky. So whenever we see a planet visually, it is that much more emphasized. So the themes that Venus rules are take another level of importance in the collective and in our personal lives. So again, money will be even more important, relationships, negotiations, partnerships, resources in general, including food, which is also another theme that Taurus rules, agriculture, food, also art, land, this idea of property and land, family, and also weddings. And I've heard in another astrology video, I can't remember which one, someone was saying that they heard that in India, they prevented people to marry when Venus was invisible. So they just started back to allow people to get married from now, July, until the end of the year. So that would make a lot of sense. And we know like people in India are very, very, very much connected to the cycles of astrology and time. And we are getting there too. So Venus, and I believe in that same video, they were saying that this, let's say, financial big collapse couldn't happen because Venus was now visible. I'm personally not sure about that. So let's see how things will go. But I do believe, in my own personal, humble opinion, that it is a possibility with this conjunction, with Mars, Uranus, and Algol all conjuncting in the sign of Taurus, which deals with currencies and money, financial systems in general. So let's first talk about what could happen in the collective. And of course, as I said, these are only speculations. And we never know what could happen, especially when Uranus is involved. So the first one that really appears very strong to me, although we've been expecting that for so long, so nobody knows when it's going to really happen. But yes, it could be a signature energy and a portal of energy for disruption in the money system and the financial system across the world. So there could be something significant being announced or going on at the time. There also could be some form of leader losing his head, not necessarily talking about, let's say, materially speaking, but losing his position or position of leadership, his role, his political role. So that could be one of the possibilities. Also, I also see maybe a sudden rise or fall of certain cryptocurrencies, because Uranus deals with cryptocurrencies, especially in the sign of Taurus, finances, money, currencies. And Mars there will kind of give it a lot more energy. And Algol there is there to, let's say, cut off certain type of cryptocurrencies. So Mars has this very, let's say, cutting something off type of energy. Uranus too, it's the planet of divorce, separation, even suicide. Some astrologers associated with suicide, but not to say that anything along those lines could happen. I'm just talking about the quality of energy. And Algol also talks about some form of like cutting off, as you could see from the beginning of this video. So both like three planets are talking about cutting off something, something dying, something, but in a very sudden way. So this is why I also thought about cryptocurrencies. Also, it is the perfect signature for Earth movements. Taurus deals with the Earth. Uranus, when Uranus is very much highlighted, we often see some tectonic movements, or let's say hurricanes, something along those lines. So there could be a seismic activity. I don't know if I said that word right, but an activity of the ground. Also, let's say hurricanes, tornadoes, all that type of stuff, because Mars gives this added energy and velocity to the conjunction. So a lot more speed. There's the idea of speed that's very much emphasized with this conjunction. Also, I was thinking very out of the box, like with this Uranus-Mars conjunction. And by the way, this is very funny because I do have this exact conjunction in my own natal chart, in my birth chart. I have, not in Taurus, but I have Uranus and Mars exactly conjunct. So maybe I'm very attuned naturally to this conjunction, to this energy, not with Algol though. But so I thought about maybe there's something either in the forefront of the stage or in the background going on with ETs, because Uranus rules ETs. Let's say having some type of role in agriculture, and I was thinking of crop circles. So we could see maybe some new crop circles appearing on the face of the earth, or having some form of involvement with the financial system breaking down. So who knows? But there's definitely going to be some form of liberation, and followed, of course, by an abrupt crisis of some kind, because Uranus and Mars is like the energy of the awakener. And let me tell you, it's not an easy energy to hold. It's not easy, but it is necessary, especially in the times that we're living. We need change. We need things to move. We need to carry on with the awakening process of ourselves and of the earth, right? So, and of course, there is a possibility also for aviation. Mars deals with accidents. So let's just be, let's say, careful around this idea. If you are, let's say, traveling by the air, make sure you do a protection ritual around yourself, around your vehicle. This is what I do every time I fly a plane. And yes, on a personal scale of things, just be careful and not to ingrain any kind of fear. But I do believe that information is power. So if you know in advance, maybe you can prevent some things from happening. So just be careful around those days, because there is a heightened potential for accidents and injuries in general. Mars rules injuries, surgeries. Uranus rules sudden accidents. So just be careful for that. Also, on a more psychological level, just be mindful of not, let's say, losing your head, as Medusa did, around something. So whatever happens in your life, just try to remain centered and focused, because there's this potentiality to go crazy over something, to lose our head, to lose our centeredness around something. But on the good side of things, there is definitely a big potential for something sudden to happen that could unfold, let's say, some form of liberation within our lives. So something being cut off that allows us to feel like we don't have this extra weight on our shoulders anymore. We can like make the move we wanted to make before, and we don't feel as tied with the past as we were before, or with certain ideas, limiting beliefs. So that could be also on a psychological level. Also, as I said earlier, there's this idea of destined kind of change with Venus squaring the node. So there is this idea of destiny, of following your purpose even more. There's an abrupt shift in direction also that could possibly happen. So I also see for this conjunction, like this card in the tarot, which is the Wheel of Fortune. So the wheel turning in the other side very rapidly. So let's say the wheel was turning in a certain rhythm, and now it's like, boop, like sudden reversal of rhythm of this cycle. So that could be very positive, because maybe things were going in a way that weren't very, let's say, supporting yourself or your highest good. And now you see like this huge reversal happening, but it's going to be happening in a shocking way. So just be prepared. There is definitely a surge of energy that is happening with Mars adding to the conjunction of Uranus and Algol to shift things around. But I think it can also be used in a very positive way. And if you feel like this Mars Uranus energy, if you do feel already when you're listening to this video that it makes you feel more anxious or more nervous, or you have trouble to sleep, just try to let's direct this energy in some form of movement, with breath, with energy, being physical. Mars Uranus deals with energy. So let's say yoga, acupuncture would be really good. Any kind of movement, martial arts would be really good too. any kind of movement where you can dissipate this anxious energy and turn it into like raw movement energy would be really good, if you do feel anxious, that is. What else? Oh yeah, and as I said earlier in the video, look up where 26 degree of Taurus is falling in your own chart, and you'll have a better idea of what house is being activated by this conjunction. And also, lastly, I wanted to say that the moon at the time of this exact conjunction on July 15 will be in the sign of Scorpio. So it's kind of this idea of added intensity. So just be mindful of, let's say, not reacting so much, because there's definitely this potential to be very argumentative and very reactive to whatever other outside situations around us. And I did see a lot of people recently, and I was finding myself very fired up with like a lot of subjects and like being very passionate in my discourse. So of course, if there's some triggers that are being activated within ourselves, psychologically speaking, there is this idea of, let's say, conflict, reactivity that is not necessarily for our highest good. So just take that as it resonates. And Sun will be squaring Chiron at the same time at 23 degrees. So another square. It is also an Aquarian degree. So there is this also potential for having discomfort within the physical body. So again, a really good way to really release that nervous energy will be to exercise or to do something physical that really speaks to you. So I hope it helped. My goal here is to really make you aware of everything that is going on in the sky. So I will try to pop back again with another, well, the next one, which is going to be the full moon in Scorpio, not in Scorpio, in Capricorn. Why did I say Scorpio? Maybe because it had, oh, I know why. Because it's going to be conjunct Pluto, the ruler of Scorpio. So that's going to be as intense as a full moon in Scorpio. And just before we go, we just launched this really cool workshop. So I decided to create a solar return workshop. It is right now available on the Academy. So if you go on maisonjupiter.academy, or you can also go on maisonjupiter.com, there is the link there. So with the launch promo, we decided to give a big 50% off to really make it as affordable as we can. And the discount code to enter at checkout will be solar return. So just make sure there are 2 R's in there, solar return all together in one word. And the solar return workshop, basically I tried to make it for everybody. So whether you have astrology knowledge or not really, it is suitable for everybody. And I wanted to make a short workshop, so it is about 5 to 7 video, depending on like what parts you want to look at, explaining how to really use your chart and modify it for your next birthday and allow to manifest really the best things for you, the best blessings in your life according to what you'd like to manifest at your next birthday. So please check this out. I'm really proud of this workshop. I think I made a good job trying to make it short, but also very clear in my approach. And there's a lot of also of downloadable documents that really support what I teach there. And I want to make it very simple for everybody to use, to really use their solar return chart as a manifestation tool. It is very powerful. So hope you enjoy. Don't forget your discount code for the 50% off sale is solar return, and that's going to be until July 28th only. So yeah, check that out. Thank you for watching, and have a beautiful conjunction. Let me know down right here down in the comments if you do feel this energy already. And also I'm curious about what happens in your life that is triggered by this triple conjunction. So let me know in the comments below if you are enjoying this new format of astrology video. Thank you guys, and also don't forget to give us a like, really appreciate it.